Let me just warn you, if you're the kind of person who thinks your neighbors can't possibly surprise you anymore, buckle up. I'm talking about a story where the president of our neighborhood association smashed a guest's $95,000 truck to pieces in my own driveway with a crowbar. And no, that's not the most shocking part. The real kicker. She had no idea the guy she was attacking was the one person in town who could absolutely destroy her life. Legally, I mean. Wild, right? I still remember that Friday night clear as day. I was hunched over a pile of ungraded essays, dreading my job as much as any high school teacher when I heard this low growling engine outside. Not the usual minivan or Amazon van, the kind of rumble that rattles your kitchen window and makes you question if you forgot to pay for earthquake insurance. I peeked out and there it was, a brand new, gleaming black Ford F-250, tall enough to block out the moon, long enough to double park a soccer team. If trucks could have a superiority complex, this one would need therapy. That's when Marcus stepped out. Yeah, Marcus Rivera. We hadn't seen each other since college, but apparently being a prosecutor ages you in a good way. There was gray at his temples, and he moved like someone used to getting listened to. "Prosecutor salary treating you well, huh?" I called out. He just grinned, patting the hood of his truck like it was a loyal dog. "Work requires reliable transportation," he said. "And you know, camping trips, boat towing, can't haul that with a Prius." Marcus had driven 8 hours to crash at my place for the weekend before some fancy criminal justice conference on Monday. I told him to park wherever. "This neighborhood's always chill about visitors," I said, blissfully unaware I'd just signed up for a war. He grabbed his bag, gave the truck one last loving look, and we headed inside to catch up like old times. But across the street, while we laughed about old debate tournaments, there was a light still burning at 3 a.m. in Elaine Morrison's house. Now, Elaine isn't your run-of-the-mill busybody. She's the kind of person who sets up cameras not for her own security, mind you, but to watch what everyone else is doing. Seriously, her home office looks like the command center in a spy movie. And when she zoomed in on Marcus's truck that night, you could practically hear the theme music from Law and Order. To Elaine, that truck wasn't just a guest vehicle, it was a declaration of war on her precious rules. Control is her oxygen. She's the self-appointed queen of little humiliations, warning notes, passive-aggressive emails, mysterious fines that appear like clockwork if you so much as blink in the wrong direction. She'd spent years bending the HOA bylaws until nobody could remember what the original rules even said. And when she couldn't find anything to outlaw Marcus's truck, she started drafting a whole new amendment on her laptop literally at 3:30 in the morning. Saturday at 7:00 a.m., sharp as a tax audit, she marched across my driveway wearing her official HOA vest badge, swinging clipboards stacked with printed rules and, no kidding, a laser measuring device. The look on her face screamed, "This is not a drill." Before I could even say good morning, she was reading off measurements like she was collecting evidence for CSI Suburbia. 6'9", 22.5 feet long, section 4.7 of the residential guidelines. She had it all memorized. Marcus stepped outside with his coffee, instantly slipping into prosecutor mode. "Ma'am, this is a personal vehicle with standard registration." Didn't matter. Elaine had decided it was commercial grade and therefore unsuitable for community standards. She even pointed down the street 4/10 of a mile away to where he was supposed to park, in his suit, every day, for a conference. You could feel the tension crackle. Marcus gave her that look the one lawyers give you when they know they're about to own you in court, but she didn't blink. She just said, "Community standards require sacrifices," and kept snapping photos from every angle. Honestly, you could see the lawsuit forming behind Marcus's eyes. After she left Marcus and I tried to laugh it off, loaded up his truck for a Costco run, and joked about who would win in a fight, his Ford or her clipboard. But across the street, Elaine was on the phone with her vice president, venting about the audacity of these people and swearing she'd handle it personally. Then she grabbed a crowbar from her garage. Yes, a crowbar. She practiced her stern face in the car window like she was starring in a B-list action flick, and then she stepped outside ready for her close-up. She didn't expect half the neighborhood to be outside that morning. Mrs. Rodriguez watering her roses, Jake washing his Civic, Mr. Kim fixing his mailbox, Sarah watching her kids draw chalk on the sidewalk. Elaine strutted over to Marcus's truck, crowbar in hand, and started yelling about mandatory removal and community standards aren't optional. Everyone could hear. At first it looked like she just wanted to wave the crowbar around for dramatic effect, maybe tap the truck to make a point. But when she swept the metal bar up, it scraped the side with a sound that made everyone's teeth hurt. 6-inch scratch, deep, ugly, right in the paint. You could feel the collective intake of breath. Marcus and I pulled up at that exact second. He saw the scratch, saw the crowbar. You didn't have to be a detective to figure out what happened. "What the hell did you just do to my truck?" he shouted, the prosecutor in him on full display. Elaine immediately lied. "That scratch was already there. I was documenting damage for the HOA records." "Sure, lady," Mr. Kim piped up. "Elaine, I watched you scratch that truck." The look on her face was priceless. "Busted." That's when she snapped. "You're all lying, ganging up on me," she screamed, raising the crowbar again, her voice shrill and wild. And then, God help us, she went full berserker. She brought the crowbar down on the windshield glass, exploding everywhere, then the driver's window, then the mirrors, paint chips flying, metal bending. Sarah was yelling for someone to call the police. Jake filmed the whole thing. Mrs. Rodriguez dialed 911 with trembling hands. Within 3 minutes, the truck looked like it had survived a tornado, and Elaine stood there, breathing hard, crowbar dangling from her grip, surrounded by a stunned, silent crowd. Sirens cut through the air. The police arrived, surveyed the scene, and you could see the gears turning in their heads. Elaine, still in her HOA vest, actually tried to explain. This was necessary. HOA enforcement. The cops, to their credit, took one look at the video evidence, and after collecting IDs, everything changed. When Marcus handed over his credentials, district attorney, county badge, and all, Elaine's face drained of color. I saw it happen. She realized she hadn't just picked a fight with a random neighbor. She'd destroyed the DA's personal property in front of half the block on camera. The handcuffs came out fast. She screamed about entrapment and community conspiracies as the officers walked her to the car. Mrs. Rodriguez actually clapped. Jake posted the arrest video. By dinner, it was everywhere online. That night, people I hadn't spoken to in years were suddenly texting, calling, leaving voicemails like, "She did this to us too." The floodgates opened, stories of years of fines, threats, made-up rules, and random penalties, all pointed back to Elaine. A bunch of us met up in Mrs. Rodriguez's living room, trading evidence like we were in a spy movie. Turns out Elaine had been running her own little kingdom, collecting illegal fines, funneling HOA money to her husband's landscaping company, inventing violations when it suited her. The investigation snowballed. Forensic accountants found thousands missing from the HOA fund. The state sent in a special prosecutor, a judge from another county took over, and Marcus stepped back from the case to keep things ethical. When it finally went to trial, it was an open and shut case video from Jake's phone eyewitnesses, stolen funds emails where Elaine mocked the people she fined. She even tried to defend herself on TV. "I was protecting property values," which only made things worse. The jury took 45 minutes. Guilty on every count: property destruction, assault, fraud, civil rights violations, insurance fraud. Elaine went down hard, 2.5 years in prison, banned for life from HOA boards, forced to pay back every dime she stole. Her house got sold to pay restitution. Her name became a cautionary tale, and honestly, nobody missed her. The neighborhood. It changed overnight. A new board got elected, this time for real transparency. Mrs. Williams, our new president, is a retired teacher who actually listens. Mr. Kim, now vice president, writes policies with engineering-level clarity. No more fines for sidewalk chalk. No more "your grass is 2 green" letters. People actually talk to each other now, barbecue together, watch out for each other's kids. Marcus got a new, even fancier truck insurance paid out fully. The place finally feels like a real community, not a dictatorship with flower beds. If there's one thing I learned from all this, it's that the smallest bit of power can turn someone into a monster if nobody keeps them in check. But give folks a real voice and a little courage, and even the biggest bully can't stand up to the truth. Now I gotta ask, was prison enough, or did Elaine get off too easy? Have you ever seen someone abuse authority like that? Drop your stories below. I have a feeling there's more of us out there than you'd think.
Cảm ơn các bạn đã xem video.